Alrighty, folks, it is Tuesday, June 20th, 2023. And with that, let's go ahead and dive into some free content real quick. My name is Brock Page, if you didn't know that already. And I've been doing free sports picks right here on YouTube since 2016. I do love making free content for you. It is my life mission to give you as much free, accessible content as humanly possible. It's all value driven. I want to give you as much as I can for as little as possible. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the Braves at the Phillies, 6:40 p.m. East. Atlanta is minus 145 on the road. Total's 8.5. Spencer Strider for Atlanta. Ranger Suarez for Philadelphia. And as good as the Phils have been playing, they have been beating up on relatively gutter teams. They also have Ranger Suarez on the bump, who's recorded only one win this year through 37 plus innings. Now, when it comes to divisional games, the Phils have struggled against NL East opponents. They lost 8 out of their last 13 against divisional competition. They're facing an Atlanta team who's gladly beat up on NL East opponents themselves. They're 17-6 in their divisional contest this year. 7-2 straight up in those divisional games on the road. When it comes to offensive production, Atlanta's tough to keep off the base paths. The Braves are averaging 9.1 hits a game, which is nearly a league best. Ronald Acuna has the second highest batting average in baseball right now, and the fourth highest OPS average. Ozzie Albies, club leader, RBI. And of course, even if the bats go cold here today for the Braves, starting pitcher Spencer Strider, 127 strikeouts in just 78 plus innings. 8 out of Atlanta's last 10 meetings with the Fightins got over. If you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. Atlanta's also 14-9 to the over in their divisional games. Give me the Braves minus 145. Over 8.5. Next game, O's Rays, 6:40 p.m. East. Tampa minus 175, total 8. Tyler Glasnow for Tampa. Kyle Bradish for Baltimore. Bradish just 2 wins on the season and a losing win-loss record. These Baltimore pitchers have struggled on the road. Bottom 10 in road runs allowed. They're also in the bottom 5 in the league in hits allowed per game. They're facing a Rays lineup who scores more runs a game than any other team besides Texas. Wander Franco, he's got the most hits on the roster. Randy Arozarena leads the team in RBI. Tampa's also got Tyler Glasnow on the mound, and he's punched out 26 batters in just 21 innings of work. He's currently 2-0 thus far in that small sample size with an ERA in the low 3s. Brandon Lau is still out for Tampa. Mullins and Mountcastle out for Baltimore. 7 out of Baltimore's last 9 divisional road games got over. Tampa Bay saw their last 3 straight at the Trop get over the total themselves. Give me Tampa Bay minus 175, over 8. Next game, Royals Tigers, 6:40 p.m. East. Detroit's minus 145, total 8.5. Michael Lorenzen for the Tigers. Daniel Lynch for Kansas City. Now, Danny Lynch is just 0-3 through only 23 plus innings. He's also got an ERA close to 6 along with a 1.41 whip. And even if Lynch throws well today, the Royals are the lowest road scoring team in the league. They average only 3.2 runs a game when they bat first. They're facing Michael Lorenzen on the mound, who's got 47 strikeouts and a 1.09 whip. Meanwhile, as a team, the Tigers got the W in 4 out of their last 5. And they average just about 7 runs a game in those victories. Javi Baez, he's the club leader in hits and RBI. Spencer Torkelson's got the most total bases in the lineup. Now, Riley Green's still out with a leg injury. Massey's inactive for Kansas City. The Royals are 22-12 to the under in their travels. They're also 10-2 to the under against American League opponents on the road as well. Give me Detroit minus 145, under 8.5. Next contest, Blue Jays, Marlins, 6:40 Eastern first pitch. Now both teams are minus a $1.10. Pretty much a coin flip in this one. Totals 8 runs. Yuri Perez for Miami. Yusei Kikuchi for Toronto. And even though the Cooch Man is 6-2 on the season, most of that is thanks to his lineup of hitters. Kikuchi's got an ERA in the 4s along with a 1.37 whip. The Jays currently have a losing record on the road, and they also took the loss in 7 out of their last 10. They're facing a red-hot Miami team on the other side, who's actually on a 5-game winning streak themselves. And they've really dominated the American League. They're currently 9-1 in their last 10 interleague contests at Lone Depot Park. Luis Arias, he is back in the 400s as far as batting average. He's leading the majors in that particular category. Jorge Soler's 21 homers, ranks 3rd in the big leagues as well. And even if Miami struggles with Kikuchi at the dish, they've got a good one themselves on the mound in youngster Yuri Perez. He's 4-1 with an ERA of 1.80. Now Segura, Garcia, and Chisholm are all still out for Miami. Belt and Kirk are injured for Toronto. The Jays are 24-18 to the over in their road games. Meanwhile, Miami went 60% to the over against American League opponents at home. Give me the Marlins minus a $1.10, over 8. Next game, Cubs, Pirates, 7:05 Eastern first pitch. Chicago's minus a $1.20, totals 8. Marcus Stroman for the Cubs, Johan Oviedo for Pittsburgh. 7 out of Pittsburgh's last 8 divisional home games fell under the number. They're also 67% to the under in all of their contests against the NL Central. Now, the Cubs saw 3 out of their last 4 away from Wrigley stay under the total themselves. As far as selecting a winner in this one, this game's being featured as my $1.99 daily best play on my website. And if you sign up for that package here today, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. But as far as making a free pick is concerned, give me the under 8. Next contest, Mariners, Yankees, 7:05 East. New York's minus a $1.25, total 7. Garrett Cole for New York, George Kirby for Seattle. And as good as Kirby's been, well, kind of tough to fade Garrett Cole in this spot here. The righty's 7-1 with an ERA in the 2s. He's also just 2 strikeouts shy of the century mark. And he's got a solid 1.11 whip. And even though the Yankees are in a bit of a slump, it ain't completely for a lack of pitching. The Bombers do allow under 7.7 hits a game. Now they're facing a Seattle club who strikes out over 10 times a game on the road, definitely having problems making contact. They're a bottom 5 hit producing team as well. And no real surprise here, guys. The Mariners have a .438 win percentage in their travels. Now, Judge, Bader, and Allen are all still out for New York. 4 out of the Bombers' last 5 at Yankee Stadium fell under the total. They're also 7-3 to the under in their last 10 at any location. Now, Seattle's averaging just 3.5 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with the Pinstriper. So once again, if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. Give me the New York Yankees minus a $1.25, under 7. Next ball game, Cards, Nats, 7:05 East. St. Louis is minus a $1.50, totals 9. Jordan Montgomery for St. Louis, Mackenzie Gore for Washington. And even though Gore's got a bunch of strikeouts, he's still got a losing 3-5 record with a 1.38 whip. Now, as a team, the Nats are on a 4-game skid, and they took the loss in 8 out of their last 10. They're facing Jordan Montgomery, who's got 73 strikeouts and an ERA in the 3s. Meanwhile, as a team, the Cards are on a 3-game winning streak, and they average 7 runs a game during that stretch. Paul Goldschmidt, he's the club leader in hits. Nolan Arenado leads the franchise in RBI. St. Louis is 62% to the under as the road team. Meanwhile, the Nats saw the under cash in 6 out of their last 10. Give me St. Louis minus a $1.50, under 9. Next contest, Rockies Reds, 7:10 Eastern start time. Cincinnati's $1.65, totals 9.5. Ben Lively for Cincinnati, Noah Davis for Colorado. And after just 11 2/3 innings of work, Noah Davis has an ERA in the sixes along with a 1.80 whip. And even if he does throw well, the Rockies really don't score much on the road. They're a bottom three run producing team while traveling. Now they're facing Ben Lively, who's got a handful of wins on the year, and he averages just about a strikeout an inning. This Reds lineup is now in the top 10 in producing runs. Johnny India, he's the club leader in hits. Jake Fraley's got a team best 41 ribbies. Blackman, Crone, and Bryant are still injured for Colorado. Zeke Tovar's out as well. 6 out of Colorado's last 10 meetings with Cincy got over. The Reds went 60% to the over in their last 10. Give me Cincinnati minus $1.65, over 9.5. Next game, A's Guardians, 7:10 Eastern first pitch. Cleveland's 225, total 9. Aaron Savali for Cleveland, Luis Medina possible for Oakland. Medina's just 1-6 on the year with an ERA of 7.55. He's also backed by the worst hitting lineup in baseball. They're going to have to face Aaron Savali on the mound, who's got just 2 losses on the season with an ERA in the 2s. And in their last 10 meetings with the A's, Cleveland's had little issue scoring runs. These guys average over 6 runs a game during that time frame. Jose Ramirez, he's currently leading the club in hits. Josh Naylor's 6th in the major leagues in RBI. The Guardians have seen nearly 70% of their ball games at Progressive Field stay under the posted total. Meanwhile, Oakland's 8-2 to the under in their last 10. Give me Cleveland minus 1.5, under 9. Next ball game, it is going to be Red Sox at the Twins, 7:40 Eastern start time. Minnesota's minus $1.40, totals 8.5. Bailey Ober for Minnesota, Cutter Crawford for Boston. And out of 40-plus innings of work, Cutter Crawford's got just 1 win and an ERA in the 4s. Now, the Bo Sox have also struggled on the road. They're winning only 40% of their road games against American League competition. Now, they're going to have to face a Twins team who's had little issue offensively in recent meetings with Boston. The Twins averaged over 5 runs a game in their last 10 contests against Boston. And pitching-wise, folks, Minnesota allows fewer hits per contest than any other pitching staff besides one. Now, starting pitcher Bailey Ober, he's certainly been no exception to that. He's got an ERA of 2.65 along with a sub-1 whip. Polanco and Gordon are still out for Minnesota. Story and Chang still out for Boston. And if you like betting totals, you may want to listen up here. Here is a stat for you. The Twins saw all 10 of Bailey Ober's starts this season stay under the total. 10-0 to the under in all of Bailey Ober's starts this year. Now, Boston saw 3 out of their last 4 on the road stay under the line themselves. Give me Minnesota minus 140, under 8.5. Next contest, D-backs Brewers, 8:10 Eastern start time. Milwaukee's minus $1.20, totals 9. Colin Ria for Milwaukee, Ryan Nelson for Arizona. And even though Nelson hasn't been great, the D-backs have still been able to win without him. The D-backs have been able to win with him on the mound. Arizona did get the W in 5 out of their last 7 Ryan Nelson starts. So once again, even though his numbers aren't great, Arizona does get the W when he starts. Now, these Diamondbacks hitters, they've also been solid on the road. They're traveling well. They're currently a top 3 run-producing team in their travels. Corbin Carroll's the club leader in batting average and hits. Christian Walker's got the most RBI as well. Now, they're facing a Milwaukee club who lost 7 out of their last 10. And they actually have one of the worst hitting lineups in the game. They're averaging only 7.1 hits per contest at home. That is a National League worst. Now, 4 out of Ria's last 6 starts did get over the total. Arizona went 63% to the over in their travels. Give me Arizona plus $1, over 9. Next game, Mets, Astros, 8:10 Eastern start time. Houston's minus $1.40, total 7.5. Framber Valdez for Houston, Justin Verlander for New York. And even though Verlander hasn't been great, he does come into today's start with a serviceable 1.22 whip. Meanwhile, as a team, the Mets got the W in 3 out of their last 5. And they did score 31 total runs during that span. Pete Alonso is the National League leader in home runs. Brandon Nimmo leads the organization in hits. They're facing a Houston club who's on a 5-game losing streak. They scored just 13 total runs during that skid. And speaking of offensive woes, the Astros really don't hit a lot at Minute Maid Park. They're a bottom 10 hit-producing franchise in their own building. And as good as Framber Valdez has been on the hill this year, great numbers, really good stuff, he does come into today's ballgame with a handful of losses on the year, so he's not completely invincible. Now, Yordan Alvarez, he is still out for Houston. That's been a big loss for them. Francisco Alvarez, questionable for New York. 3 out of the Mets' last 5 road games did get over the total. The Astros went 60% to the over in their last 10 themselves. Give me the Mets plus 1.5, over 7.5. Next ball game, it is going to be Rangers at the White Sox, 8:10 Eastern start time. Texas is minus 130, totals 8.5. Nathan Eovaldi for the Rangers, Dylan Cease for Chicago. Now to 79-plus innings, Dylan Cease has recorded only 3 wins. He's got an ERA in the 4s along with a 1.34 whip. And even if Cease has a good showing here today, these White Sox batters are a bottom 5 run-producing lineup in the American League. Now they're facing Nathan Eovaldi, who's been really good this year. He's just 1 win shy of double digits already. The righty's also got himself an ERA in the 2s, along with 92 strikeouts. Now, no real shock here. Eovaldi also comes into today's game with a stingy .98 whip. But the big story with this Ranger team this year has been their bats. These guys score more runs a game than any other team in baseball. Adolis Garcia, he's second in the majors in RBI. Marcus Semion's the team leader in hits. Now, Brad Miller is still out for Texas. Tim Anderson's banged up for Chicago, officially listed as questionable. 6 out of the Sox last 10 meetings with Texas did get over the total. Meanwhile, the Rangers are 8-4 to the over in their last dozen. Nathan Eovaldi starts. Give me the Rangers minus 130, over 8.5. Next contest, Padres, Giants, 9:45 Eastern first pitch. San Diego's minus $1.20, totals 8.5. Seth Lugo for the Padres, Anthony DeSclafani for San Francisco. Now, DeSclafani's got a handful of wins and a solid 1.18 whip. Now, the Red Hot Giants are on an 8-game heater right now. They scored 72 total runs during that stretch. No problems touching home plate. Thairo Estrada is the club leader in hits. Conforto hits for power. They're facing Seth Lugo on the mound, who's got a 4.10 ERA for the Padres and a 1.37 whip. And when it comes to hitting the baseball, no one does it worse on the road than the Padres. They're averaging under 7.1 hits a game in their travels. That is a league worst. Flores, Hanninger, and J.D. Davis, they are all banged up for San Francisco. 4 out of Seth Lugo's last 5 starts did stay under the total. The Pods are also 7-4 to the under in their last 11 divisional road games. Give me the Giants plus $1, under 8.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our next and final breakdown for the video. It's going to be in that Dodgers-Angels game, 10:07 Eastern first pitch. LA Dodgers are minus 135, totals 9. Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers, Reed Detmers for the Angels. And even though Detmers has been lackluster at best, he has been a big strikeout guy. He's got 76 punch-outs and just 62 plus. The Angels also do a nice job of producing runs at home. They're a top 10 scoring team in their own stadium. Shohei Ohtani is the league leader in home runs. He also has a 1.015 OPS. Mickey Moniak, he's hitting .309 with an OPS nearly in the thousands himself. And even though Kershaw has been solid on the mound for the Dodgers, their pitching staff has been shockingly bad on the road this year. They're actually allowing more runs and hits per game on the road than any other pitching staff in the National League. I know that's hard to believe, but these guys do not travel well. Now at the plate, the Dodgers are also in the bottom 10 in hits per game away from home as well. Of course, having Max Muncy out of the lineup, that does not help him at all. He's still out for the Dodgers. Urshela and Neto still inactive for the Angels. 7 out of the Angels' last 10 did get over the total. The Dodgers went 75% to the over in their interleague contests. Give me the Angels plus 1.5 over 9. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Give me the Atlanta Braves minus 145 over 8.5. Tampa Bay Rays minus 175 over 8. Detroit minus 145 under 8.5. Miami Marlins minus $1.10 over 8 runs. Give me the under 8 in the Cubs-Pirates game. New York Yankees minus $1.25 under 7. St. Louis minus 150 under 9. Cincinnati minus 165 over 9.5. Cleveland Guardians minus 1.5 under 9 runs. Minnesota minus $1.40 under 8.5. Arizona plus $1 over 9. New York Mets plus 1.5 over 7.5 runs. Texas Rangers minus $1.30 over 8.5. San Francisco plus $1 under 8.5 runs. And with my next and final free pick for the video, give me the Angels plus 1.5 over 9. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my website. Now, if you guys do end up signing up for a membership on patreon.com/BrockPage, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. That's why I always tell folks that Chairman Package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. It gives you access to every single personal play of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you also get access to my podcast absolutely free. It's included with your purchase. But most importantly, guys, gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, guys, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/rockpage.